Bulls, Sacramento Kings post-game show is live. Over here, we got P.Kidd. We got Pat the designer checking in. Bulls lose 110-101 in Sacramento to close out a very, very bad road trip in terms of this batch of games. We're here to break it all down for you. Man, we've got a lot of stuff going on here with the Bulls, and not all good. And there's a lot of different trade rumors going around. There's a lot of Fire Billy talk, even though that's really not in the cards, unless we've got a big payout coming. But we're going to break this all down for you here right now on the Windy City Breeze. Make sure that you give us a call right now. The number is 773-900-8097. We're going to let the phone lines get stacked up. In the meantime, P.Kidd, Pat the designer, and I will run this down for you. So, gentlemen, first impressions of this game from a hustle standpoint. Are we too tired? What's the deal? Why are we scoring only 20 points in a quarter?
It's like I've said, we run a 2005 offense.
Right.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but 2005 offenses generally don't work too well in 2022. But we'd be a great team versus Spurs. We
my take is a little different.
We have too many moments where the ball's not going in the hoop, and you're not coinciding those moments with playing top defense in the NBA. Bulls have the ability to play really good defense, but it's usually not at the moments when they're not scoring the basketball. And I think this team is so emotionally tied on the offensive end to how the rest of their game plays out that it doesn't look good in those moments.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I actually have a different take. I think we do one thing really, really well, and then we go away from it. This game chart right here, I know if you can go on the same chart, you can look at the lead tracker. Am I correct? If you look at the lead tracker on that one, you'll see that the Bulls at one point.
Oops.
Maybe not. Yeah, there you go, right there. You see the Bulls at one point. We did have the lead. You know what we did at that point? We rotated the ball. We had a lot of people moving without the ball. We had activity going. We had constant motion. That is the modern day basketball and how it's played. When we go away from that, then you see what happens. We start going away from that at the end of the first, and then what happened from there? We've been down the entire game. So when we fall into that moment where everyone in the comments are saying no one's moving, I've mentioned it several times. Guess what? This is what happens with that. When you take away the momentum. Now, the reasons for that we can discuss. In fact, Marcus, I would love to hear your thoughts on it because you had some comments on it. What do you think leads to these moments where we have stagnant offense, where nothing's happening? Why do we go away from what's working? What do you think the issue is?
Because I thought it was ironic during this game they were showing sort of what the assist of the week happened to be, and it was between two bench guys. It was not our main two players or our main three players. And that's very telling in how this team plays. When Zach gets the ball or when DeMar gets the ball, it's generally a black hole. It goes there, and that's where the ball goes to die, either to the other team or in the hoop. One of the two. Billy is experimenting with different lineups. We see that. We see that sometimes DeMar is in, sometimes Zach is in, but rarely are they back in the game beyond the first quarter together. Except for, when they come out at half. But even so, they are not coalescing together like we have all seen them do in the past. And I'm wondering, is this just a point guard issue? Should Dragic be put into this? Should we sacrifice any defense that we're going to pretend that we're initiating? I don't know how you're saying that Caruso is such a big defensive difference maker for us when we're giving up so many points.
We was talking about Caruso. It's like Caruso. Here's the thing: Caruso is a really good on-ball defender. He really,
of course,
he's a really good on-ball defender.
But at what cost? The cost of four guys not scoring?
he gets mixed up almost every time in every game. Caruso be going the wrong direction almost every game.
Yeah.
You know what Caruso is? He is the quintessential hustle guy off the bench.
Yeah.
You know, and that he's a great second unit guy, and I love that for him. Right, there's a spot for that type of activity. If you're a young player looking at someone and you know that you don't have the offensive bag that you see some of the people at your school, whatever, there's a spot for you.
Okay.
Caruso has proven it.
However, look at this stat right here. Look at the assists. We're talking 30 assists to 17.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a facilitated offense. And still 16 turnovers to 18 turnovers. You're not facilitating a lot. Yeah, your steal count is almost the same. You got some blocks. I'm sure that's not Caruso's doing.
The tough part is, right, like there's so many, right, like Io wasn't the answer either, right? We saw Io come out hot to start the season, and Io wasn't the answer. Goran Dragic certainly isn't the answer. He might be an answer facilitating wise, but I'm gonna tell you this right now: you put Goran Dragic out there, you're gonna get cooked.
He's gonna put up some shots. He's gonna shoot you in and out of a game. That's what the Dragon does. I mean, it is what it is. His career is done. Like you know who he is.
Yeah, and a player like that, that's the player you want coming off your bench. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, he can shoot you back in that mug, or he doesn't kill you if his shots aren't falling. Maybe he can assist. But for me, right, the biggest thing from this Bulls and the biggest takeaway on this road trip as a whole, right, individual game for sure, but it's not the fact that we lost to the Kings. I thought we would lose to the Kings. Well,
yeah,
I said this. We lose to the Kings every year. Every year in Sacramento, we lose to the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
What I dislike is that we're not improving how we're losing. We're not competing better in these moments where we're losing. We're doing the same thing. Hey, we played 3 games in a row where we didn't get above 25 points in the second quarter, where we got completely outplayed on both sides of the floor in the second quarter.
Right. And where is the coaching staff to know that these are downfalls that we need improvement on? Right. We need our hands team, so to speak, in the second quarter to put it through, and they don't do it. All right. Let's take a call right now. We'll go back over to the 404 area code. How you doing?
We can't hear him, Marcus. If
you can't? Okay, hold on. All right, hold on.
Marcus getting used to this soundboard, man.
It's all right.
It's all good, man.
In the meantime, while we
you got him or no?
Is he saying something?
Yeah,
we ain't got him.
Okay,
we ain't got him. As Marcus gets that together, the one thing I still want to know is if you go away from Io. I get that, but have you given him enough time? Like, we're still talking about second year Io. Yeah, giving him enough time to actually say, "Hey, this is my point guard."
I don't know. I don't know, right? And I think here's the thing. At the end of the day, Billy Donovan's trying to look for answers, and I like that. And he's just trying to find the right combination at the end of the day to get the stars going. He's trying to find the right. I love Io. I think Io's an asset. And all. Io DeSumo isn't the answer for beating these teams. We need Zach LaVine. We need DeMar DeRozan. We need Nikola Vucevic to play better.
I don't know, because he was the answer for us beating Boston. I think we got the caller on the line now.
You hear him? Yo, caller, how you doing? Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Now we're hearing him.
Can you hear caller? Can you hear Pat and Kidd?
No.
Slowly working through it. That's all right. Go ahead.
All right.
All right,
talk
go ahead.
to us. What's up?
P.Kidd, Pat, what's good?
What's happening, brother? What's happening?
Not much, bro. Not much.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? It's Q, man.
Hey, Q, what's happening with you?
Man?
Once again, listening to you on the road. I don't touch the tonight. I just, as a thought experiment, as I was listening, do you know how many times, just on a rough average, there was one pass in the shot that I heard from Pat. Out of the 86 shot attempts we took, I counted at least 45 to 50 times where there was just one pass in the shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this because Pat had this feeling when we hired Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan sucks as an NBA coach.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and you couldn't win with that. And it was because you had no ability to actually adjust and really coach.
Yeah.
Right? Alex Caruso is the modern day Randy Brown. What do I mean by that? He's only going to play good when he's with a superstar. He's only going to be good with a Michael Jordan. He's only going to be good with a LeBron James. We don't have that. You pay Zach LaVine like he's a superstar or a transcendent player. He's not that.
You still hear him?
Right?
Yeah. Can you still hear me, caller?
DeMar DeRozan.
Can you guys still hear him?
Mm-hmm.
I hear him.
Can you guys hear? Can you hear Pat Q? Can you hear Pat? Sorry to do some.
Yeah, I can hear him.
You can.
Oh, y'all hear me now? Hey, Q, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's going on?
Bet. Nice.
So Billy Donovan sucks as a coach, right? You had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. You couldn't make that work. You couldn't win with that, and it was tailor made for you to win, right? Zach LaVine is not a transcendent player. I'm sorry, right? We pay him like that. He's not that. DeMar DeRozan, fabulous shot maker. That's all he's giving you, right?
Yep.
Alex Caruso is not a point guard, right? He's the modern day Randy Brown. You put him with a superstar and let him do what he does. He's a defensive specialist. Period. End of story. Billy Donovan to me sucks as a coach. Again, I keep going back to it. What the hell do we want to do with P. Will? He's a small forward that's masquerading for us as a power forward. So to me, again, why are you not using him more at the top with the ball in his hands just to give a different fucking look, bro? I'm sorry for the language.
It's all right. We understand.
Right? Just give me a different look on offense, bro. But again, like I said, 86 shot attempts. I heard Pat at least 45 times to 50 times one pass shot.
Yep.
You're not winning in today's NBA one pass in a shot. We can load up on that. And especially when you consider the fact that only two players really are going to consistently get double-digit shot attempts. Vucevic is just picking up scraps, whatever he can get. I guess I'll shoot it this time.
Yeah.
Been up and down the court 7 times. I might as well shoot it. Hell, everybody, them other 2 guys shooting it.
I agree.
Right?
There's
Everybody
no ball.
else,
There's no ball movement at all. There's no cutting.
Yeah.
There's no pick and roll. That game is gone.
Yeah, and that's, to me, that's all Billy Donovan, dog. That's all Billy Donovan.
Yep.
And to me, he sucks as an NBA coach. You're a college coach, right? We're back in the situation right before we got D Rose. When we had Ben Gordon and Kirk Harrick and Lou Alding and them, the Benny Dale, right after we got Benny Dale Negro, at the Sky Skies. We're good enough just to keep the fan base interested enough to get mad at games that we're supposed to win.
Thus the tale of any Chicago team ownership, right? It's just like enough to just keep us fed, and that's it.
Hey, Q, I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yeah, Q, appreciate the love as always, brother.
Yeah, man, y'all knew it.
Hey, stay safe out there.
Stay safe, man.
The one thing that I will say, right, is that, and I don't think, right, I don't think Billy Donovan sucks. I think that Billy Donovan is a good coach, not a great coach. But that's not what we thought was going to be the team this year, right? Like, at the end of the day, and this is what it always will come down to for me, I will always put more on the players. I think Billy doesn't do enough, but I'll always put more on the players because I've watched bad coaches win a lot. I've watched coaches that just you look at them and you're like, I don't think he's very good. but his players get him to that next level. I think
Yeah.
Billy Donovan's better than a lot of coaches. And I do agree with the offensive style, but that's the style of offense that fits DeMar DeRozan.
Chuck,
You hate to say it that way, but that's the style of offense that
Daly.
fits DeMar.
And
Chuck
I
Daly,
do want to add this caveat.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if people remember, but I'm pretty sure Billy didn't have all 3 stars. Billy didn't have.
Billy had Harden and or he had
Billy had Russ.
Billy had Russ.
No,
and
he
KD.
had Russ. He had Kevin Durant too. He had Kevin Durant.
he had
He didn't
Russ
have
and KD.
Harden.
He's had some stars, bro. The reason I didn't want Billy here was because of what Q said, right? Because when I looked at it, I said, you've had Russ, you've had KD, you've had PG, you've had Carmelo Anthony. You didn't even want to use Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony ended up having like 6 extra good years in the NBA. He had Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He had Jeremy Grant.
Yep.
Jeremy Grant took a while to become the Jeremy Grant that he is. Jeremy Grant wasn't even that dude at the beginning in Detroit.
That's true.
You know, the funny thing about Billy Donovan is the only thing I feel like he struggles with is just how to utilize 2 players who do the same thing. I'm with Pat when it says I put a lot more on the players. Between players, Zach and DeMar got to figure that out.
How about run plays for the guy?
Zach and DeMar got to figure it out.
100%. And that's
run plays anymore? What's
Yeah.
going on?
100%, Marcus, and I think that's the part that irks me, right? And you saw, right, like Zach LaVine cooked tonight. He played well, and we'll talk about that as well. But like you saw how he ran off the court. He's frustrated at how the offense is moving.
For nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Caller, you're on the line.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
What's going
Good.
on, man?
Who's this?
This is Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Robert, what's going on, man?
What's up, Robert?
Hey, how you doing, Pat? Again, how you doing?
Always good to hear from you, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm calling because I agree on a couple points with the other caller said, about, the offense and not running the plays for the superstars that we have. But I want to compare it to a situation that I know it's 2 different sports, but I think Billy Donovan's working with what he's got. Yeah, he's got a superstar core and DeRozan and LaVine, but they're not playing up to their status. But it's kind of like the situation with Justin Fields. He ain't got superstars around him. He don't have weapons around him. If you want to build around LaVine and DeRozan, you can. But you got to go out and get the players. Now, we have a core. We're just not using it right. And I think the Bulls are in a situation similar, to what the Bears are in. You got rookies. You got like maybe 2 or 3 superstars on the court, but the rest are maybe rookies or maybe second year or first year. You know what I mean? And you're trying to work them into a situation you're only running plays that's made for DeMar DeRozan, like an offense that fits DeMar DeRozan. You're not running an offense that's fit to run for the whole team. You're not using Levine's strengths. You're not using Vooch's strengths. He's better in the post, Vooch. I believe he's better in the post. Put him in the post.
Going in hindsight from last year, do you recall like how many times it was either Zach or DeMar out of the lineup, either through COVID protocols or
Yeah, I remember that.
something else, and yet we had success during those periods. It's because they weren't on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, because it was like next man up. They were out, so it was like next man up. So they stepped up and they did their job. But we need to get a couple more pieces, I think, to become actual contender and get past the first round of the playoffs.
Past one game in the playoffs. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves.
I mean, we can't. We've gone to the playoffs a couple times in the past couple of years. We couldn't make it out of the first round.
Yeah.
Or the second. No. I think we made it to the second round. I think we made it to the second round one time out of those few times, but.
I think the thing is too, and appreciate the call as always, Robert. The thing is, right, like Billy doesn't adjust enough But we can't say that in these last few games. Billy's adjusting. Billy's trying everything. Like legit, Billy is trying. Like if you're looking at the games right now and you're saying Billy's not adjusting, you're not looking at the game. Because Billy's calling different defensive sets. Billy's putting different lineups on the floor every night. Billy's changing. He would have gone with Javonte Green starting again if Javonte Green wasn't not available for tonight, right? Like Billy's adjusting. We can yell at Billy. We can do. Players got to make shots. Players got to make plays. Would I like to see a little bit more offense? Yeah, but even right now, right? Billy Donovan's talking on the podium right now. He's acknowledging the fact that the one dribble offense, the one shot offense doesn't work. I don't know what the fix is there, right? Like you're telling me that, but then I see it consistently, and I think that's one of those things, right, in the modern NBA where you have to ask the question: how much control does the coach really have? Like, is Billy Donovan really going to bench DeMar DeRozan for a game?
No.
Is he really not going to put DeMar? Does that give us the best chance to win a game? He's not going to do that. It's not 1998 anymore.
I almost feel like Tibbs at this moment. Like, I feel like I should just ride P. Will the entire game until he gives me something.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I know, but I don't know what else to do.
And that's really what it is, right? Like, it's so inconsistent. It's so up and down. And right, the Bulls team, just in this game, the Bulls team that played in the third quarter was not the Bulls team that played in the second.
No.
It wasn't the Bulls team that played in the fourth. The Bulls team that played in the first quarter wasn't the Bulls team that played in the second. You know what? Like, it's just so inconsistent, literally from quarter to quarter, from minute to minute. And there's nothing, right? Like, I think Marcus made a great point there. When this team cooked most, one of the two of them were out. I never thought about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Got another caller on the line. How you doing?
What's up? Y'all? How y'all doing?
What up, Shay?
What's going on, bro?
I mean, everything's going good, but honestly, man, I'm here to just spit the logic of it and to take the emotions out.
Okay.
You notice that
it's hard to do as a Bulls fan.
Yeah, but you notice that people like to talk about Zach LaVine this and Zach LaVine that, but even with the games that he struggled, he pretty much did not as much as a regular point guard, but some real good playmaking. You see, the problem only came in the game today and yesterday was when DeMar tried to take it over. If you notice, when he was out of the game and Zach LaVine was in, Zach LaVine kind of did move the ball a little bit. You saw Zach LaVine hustling, playing defense. And if you notice when DeMar isn't out there, you know, the ball moves around a lot fluently. The only time the ball got stagnant was when he touched it. Now look, I'm not trying to put DeMar DeRozan down. I like him as a player. He did a lot of good things for us last year, but last year was last year, man. I feel like in a couple of these games, mainly the last two with the Kings and the Golden State Warriors, he was one of the biggest reasons why we lost that game. And I'm sorry, but I know you say Billy Donovan was making some changes, Pat, but I'm here to tell you, man, who takes Patrick Williams out when he was a +6 and DJJ was a -6? The way I see it, I would have kept Patrick
in hindsight,
Williams in
you can say that, but
this is what I'll say.
We gave P. Will the chance today, and he couldn't even catch a pass correctly.
Nah, that was a bad pass.
Yeah,
but here's what I'll say to that. Here's what I'll say to that. Stop bringing up plus minus, because if you watch the game, DJJ played well defensively. He did good things. He didn't knock down shots. He was on the floor when a bad run happened, but he played well defensively.
Yeah, but he also made some real bad turnovers. And I didn't say just J. I also said something about DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan stagnates the offense a little bit, and he kind of allowed them to get on a bit of a run. Think about it. We were down by 1 point when Patrick Williams made that free throw shot. The game didn't start getting under control until DeMar DeRozan went into his heroics.
You're right.
The funny thing is, I don't know if we could call it heroics because that's what DeMar does, and that's how DeMar plays. We can't fault players for being who they are at some points. I think that's where this is where two things are true. Like, you have to allow the coach has to put the right people in place at the right time to get the most out of them and contribute.
You got to do that with DeMar DeRozan. Sit him down when he's not having, when he's not on, when he ain't on. You know what I'm saying?
And Billy did that. What happened? Io picked up 2 quick fouls. What are you gonna do? I got to put DeMar back in. He did it. He actually did it. So the one thing I would say is that I can kill Billy for a lot of things, but the one thing I do have to give him credit for is he does have the balls to make adjustments. He benched Zach. He did have DeMar out the game. He did let Zach cook. He tried to manage it as best as he could. So I can kill him for making some bad moves. I got to give him credit for when he makes good moves. I can't hear you.
DeMar DeRozan is starting to prove why Kawhi Leonard's one season in Toronto killed his 7 years there in one single season. I'm sorry.
No, Kawhi Leonard is just a better version of DeMar DeRozan. But if you look at how Kawhi plays, it's the same player.
Yeah. Hey, Shay, thanks for calling, man. We're going to move on.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
All right, brother.
Just me being rude.
I've had that debate a lot of times. Kawhi Leonard is just a better version of DeMar.
I mean, I agree with you, but we got a super chat. Shout out to the Shy. It says, when are we going to start questioning AK because he's continuing to sit on his hands? Well, first off, I wouldn't want a GM that panics like fans do. If we had a GM that panicked like fans do, we would lose a lot.
Yeah, we'd be playing 2K every.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a GM that panics like the fans do. What I will say is this: AK hasn't been wrong about anything except maybe the 3 players that you thought were going to give you the same production they gave last year. Like, if Zach LaVine gives you the same production, DeMar DeRozan gives you the same production, maybe not the same way, right? But if they give you the same numbers they gave you last year, maybe DeMar a little less because he has a running mate right now, we win every one of these games.
Right, because the bench has stepped up, the starters have not. They've regressed. So we don't have a bench that's good enough to keep up the burden that the starters have lacked. Like, and who does? Listen, if you've got a bench that every single game your starters can, or one of your starters that's the main player can suck. Yeah.
And they can just, oh yeah, I got a DeMar, then you win NBA championship.
Right.
You're an NBA champion. Like, just give them the trophy, right? Like, that's really when we looked at the Warriors team, the thing that scared us most isn't it. I'm not as scared of a Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson Warriors anymore. You know what scares the heck out of me? The fact that they don't have to play half the game and you can still get beat by 25 because Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, and Jonathan Kuminga can come in.
Yeah. They brought backup.
Yeah, right? For sure.
All right, new caller on the line. How you doing? Hello? Yeah, how you doing?
Hey.
Who's this?
What's up? Frank from Hawaii. What's up, guys?
Frank from Hawaii.
What's going on, man?
Hey, aloha.
I hear Pat was talking about, second quarters. And I don't want to kill DeMar too much because the guy is good. But the problem is the end of the first and start of the second when we go into that stagnant offense with him dribbling up the middle. And granted, yeah, he makes more shots than he's missed over his career.
Yeah.
But during that time, that's when we go to those 3-4 minute lulls without scoring. And before you know it, all season long, he's come around in the third and fourth quarter. He puts up 15 in the third, another 10 in the fourth, gives him 30 for the night. But that second quarter where we all season long, we lose by like 15 to 20 points.
Yep.
That
It's been really a combination of both. You know what I mean? It's been a combination. Like in the Warriors game, it was Zach. No, in the Warriors game, it was Zach. Zach went what 0 for 6 in the second quarter, something like that. Like both guys have said, like that's the thing. It's been DeMar the last couple of nights. It's been Zach for most of the season. Vooch has been up and down. He's been the consistent, but he hasn't been the guy that we thought he hasn't been as effective offensively, I should say, for most of these games because they don't go to him. That's just right. Like your stars got to be your stars. If they are your stars, I think that's the part for me. And so I'm with you, right? DeMar going into this game was the one that got us down in that early. Zach LaVine in the game before, but that's the thing that we can pinpoint one of them every game.
Yeah,
that's the problem. We have no continuity at all.
No,
we can't go from one to the other.
The interesting thing is, I still got to say this, and I know we get tired of saying it's early in the season, early in the season. I'm not going to say it's early in the season, but what I am going to say is we're 9-14. Fourth place is 13-10.
Luckily, but how long is that trend going to continue?
We're 3.5 games, 4 games back from, so a lot can happen. Like, I mean, think about it like this. I like to make it
7 games back.
I like to take it away from us because it's so personal. We're so emotionally riled into it. But at one point, the Brooklyn Nets were at the bottom of the conference. They go 7-3 in their last game. Now they're in 8th place. Yeah. A lot can happen in a month span. And when you start to figure things out, and the Brooklyn Nets are a great team to kind of use as an analogy because they got Kyrie back, they worked him back into the lineup, they got Joe Harris back, they got people started to come back, they started to click. It took them a minute, but now they're back in the hunt. That's absolutely possible here.
Yeah,
absolutely possible here.
Thanks for calling in, mahalo.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take care.
Appreciate the love. Hey, boys, I got to run. I got to do a segment on Locked On NBA and got to do
all right.
Of course, Locked On Bulls, but y'all keep it cracking over here, man. Appreciate all y'all for showing love to the channel. If you haven't done so, hit that like button. And if you don't hit the like button, we're going to tell Marcus to play smooth jazz in the evening. Y'all, do you just have smooth jazz ready to go, Marcus? Like he's looking back there. Like he's got smooth jazz ready to go.
5.5. Y'all remember that?
That was actually kind of cool. That was a little too good, actually.
That was actually kind of good. I don't know about that one.
Hey, you let that one hey, y'all stay safe out there, man.
All right, bro. All
right, Pat. Take care. All right, kids. So let's get through a couple more calls here. We will go. This is obviously a regular here. How you doing, caller?
Hello, guys. Hello, Pete, P.Kidd, and Mark.
What's up, bro? How you feel?
Good. Who's this?
Robert Schwartz.
Hey, Robert
Schwartz. What's up, bro? What's up?
Nothing, man. Just chilling, watching our Chicago teams just take L's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting sick and tired of it, but I'm not panicking. I think though they're going to hit a brick right now, and they're going to come through it. That's what good teams do. They hit good teams, and then let's figure this out. To me, I think, how come they're not using Andre Drummond a lot?
It's a good
you
question.
Sitting down at the post and put Vucevic at your power forward. Then you can bring Pete Will off the bench with switch your bigs out. That's what I would be doing if I was the Bulls coach.
So you think a P. Will Drummond lineup? Is that what you're looking for, or what do you think?
Something like that.
The interesting thing is, I'm with you. I've been asking for the last couple games. Why is Drummond minutes 5-6 minutes a game?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Know. This is a guy that
to me
that said he's one of the best rebounders of his generation. He said he could handle whatever role at the beginning of the season, which to me sounded like he was saying, "Hey, I could be a starter if y'all want to trade Vooch." Right? Isn't that what that sounded like?
Sounded like it. And I'm not saying that we should, and I'm not saying that he is better than Vooch, but I'm saying that he does something. He does bring a lot to the table that we're not utilizing. What does that lineup look like?
What do you think, Robert? Who would you put in? What's your ideal lineup right now in terms of starters to get us back on track?
I'll put DeMarco Rose, Io. I would put Drumming, and I'll put Vucevic, and I'll put Caruso. And because I'll put DeRozan as your power forward, and your small forward would be Vucevic, and your center would be Andre Drummond and Caruso, and Io will be your point guards. Then you bring
So you're going to bench your max player?
No, I'll put DeMar, Levine, Io, Vucevic, and Drummond. You could put Vucevic down to center and bring out Drummond to be a power forward too. I didn't even think about that lineup, because you got two guys that can defend the boards. That's what you need, and the Bulls need to stop shooting threes. It's killing them, and they need to start passing the ball around, because that's going to open up a lot of open shots and threes and stuff like that. Because I watched the game against Milwaukee, how they were spacing it out, and that's what you got to do with Milwaukee, because you got Giannis, that he's a good player and all, but there's things that he travels a lot to me in my eyes. How he takes those big steps, those big 3 steps, and then he goes to the boards. But you got to, like, I agree with you, Mark. You got to pass the ball around. You got to spread it. You can't drive it and kick it out. You got to spread. Everybody got to touch the ball, because they're going to come out, and then you're going to shoot the 3, and it's going to go in.
Fair point. And that's an interesting take in terms of that lineup. What do you think about that, P.Kidd?
I think he put P. Will, DeMar. Did he put P. Will, Vooch, and Drummond on the floor at the same time? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Hey, Robert, thanks for calling in. We're
Yeah.
gonna keep rolling
No
here.
hate, Robert. My reasons behind it is ultimately, like, if you play that lineup, you kind of put people back in the same position he's already in, realistically.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest with you, and I appreciate you for calling, bro. I appreciate you. I think the one thing that you said that I really do agree with is the ball movement portion.
Yeah.
I disagree with us not taking enough threes. I think while I do agree that we need to stop taking contested step back threes, that's different. We do need to start swinging the ball and getting an open shot, and we need to do that more for the right people. And so that's a culture change almost. Someone has to buy into that.
That lineup's a little. That's a hot take for a lineup, and I don't know how well that group would.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a stamina groups.
Yeah. That's a defensive group. That's all that is. But hey, man, I appreciate you calling in again. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to one more caller. First time caller, 470 area code. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Sir.
What's your name?
Hey. My name is Antoine. I'm from Alabama, but I'm a big Bulls fan.
All right.
Me watching the Bulls, the thing I see, to me, that's the biggest problem, is point guard play. I like Io, but I think that having a true point guard makes a big difference with this team. And it don't necessarily have to be Lonzo, but they need a real point guard who can control the offense, and then they can run the plays they want to run. But by not having a point guard, the head of the the quarterback of the offense for basketball, it's like, you can't get people in the right position. You can't really run the plays and make the plays that need to be made if you don't have a point guard. What you guys think about that?
I'm in agreement, and that's what we've been kind of saying earlier on the post game here was you're putting in Caruso to try and spark defense. He's not quite giving you that defense, and he's certainly hindering the offense because he's not lighting up enough guys to get him going. A 20-point second quarter just isn't going to do it.
My take on that is I agree with you that point guard play is important. But if you're not going to allow your point guard to be utilized the way that they need to be utilized for your group, then it doesn't matter. It's almost like saying we need to take more threes, but if we're shooting 28%, that doesn't solve anything. So I say that because when we had Lonzo for the games that we did have him healthy, we didn't utilize Lonzo like he was utilized in New Orleans. No one can sit there and find the tape and tell me that we did. Well, if you can, let me know. Because he was not the spot-up corner shooter that he was. solely that and with the Pelicans. In fact, Zion's first game, guess who ensured that he got the ball so he can show out in the limited minutes that he had to play? Lonzo. Lonzo intentionally made sure that he got the rock, right? So like that's just a point guard knowing that if you don't give him the opportunity to make plays, doesn't matter. Ayo is a playmaker. Look at his tape in college. Look at what he does. Look at what he does when it's him and Vooch and how he got him involved in the pick and roll. Like Ayo can make those plays, but if you don't allow him to, you don't let the leash go and allow him to run and let him do what he does in that position, it doesn't matter. So we have the talent here.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just think that me watching it, I just think that a point guard, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the coaching or what the situation may be. I just don't see them, and I know they want to run. The lineup that they have out there is pretty much, a team that's gonna get up and down the court. And I'm just thinking that, if you really watch it, Zach always leaking out, but he has nobody to actually make that pass to him when he leaks out. If you ever really watch it, he's always leaking out on defense, but nobody's never really making that pass to him, like Lonzo would or another point guard would. Not saying Ayo can't, but I just don't see the ball being pushed like it should with that lineup. And I think that lineup is made to run. That's why P. Will is at power forward and not on the wing. But that's all I had to say, guys.
No, I can see it, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro. I thank you for watching, man. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Yeah. So I agree. I mean, kid, we're all just frustrated with our players, with the way that they're going, and it's one of those things, man, where it's just like we know we have that talent.
Mm-hmm.
When we didn't suspect that we had the talent on the team in the days of like Nate Robinson and DJ Augustine and all that, they made these games fun, and it's weird to have these kinds of players and not have this kind of fun game.
We are a 3-game win streak away from the entire narrative changing.
I know this. I know, and that's the great thing about the drama of the NBA and especially the Chicago
and the length of the season. That's what it is. I love it.
Yep. All right, next caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
All right.
Who's this?
This is Gary from Chicago.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary. What's going on?
What's your thought, man? Where you at right now with these Chicago Bulls?
It's not good, man. The whole organization at this point, from the head down, there's blame to go around for everybody. You could blame AK for the roster. I mean, kind of having a fight right now between Zach and DeMar, who's going to lead this team. They're both ball dominant players. You got to decide, like, between the two of them, they're the ones scoring most of the points. But it's like, besides that, how are we going to get Vooch involved? To me, it's like, Vooch, he's not really a defensive stud, so he needs to get offensive touches. So you got 3 ball dominant players trying to share the ball. That's one of the problems from the roster. You got Billy too. He's a problem. I mean, P.Kidd, you're a professional. What workplace have you ever been where we have something called, this random offense concept? I mean, so we're just going to head into work and we're just going to do what we want. There's no plan. That's what it sounds like to me.
No project management.
Man. No, I hear you. The funny thing is I do work in tech, and I do I've worked with startups, and believe it or not, a lot of these startup companies that you see that make it to the 100 million and above, series C funding and all that stuff, they make a lot of pivots. They pivot often. So you're talking about, how do I get not just a team of 15 players to get on the same page, but how do I get a whole organization of 50 plus, 100 plus employees to get on the same page, pull in the same rope at the same time, so we can get to the next level? That happens often, believe it or not. It's it's like organized chaos until you figure it out. And so I think the thing is, yeah, I can get the frustration, but at the same time, he's still trying to figure it out. And again, when we start stringing it together, when you can sit here and say Zach is doing his job, DeMar's doing his job, Vooch is doing their job at the same time, and it's not working, then we can talk.
Right.
But we haven't been able to say that. We've literally had games where DeMar is doing all the work. We're like, DeMar has no help. Zach finally goes off and it's like Vooch is not there. Vooch is averaging doubles, and we're like, oh, we'll trade him. Like we've had these moments where the players individually could really be cooking. It just ain't happening at the same time for a variety of reasons. So now that we're in a point where Zach looks healthy, he looks healthy now. Like he looks healthy. He has spring in his step. He's attacking the basket. He's doing what we want him to do. Now we have to give that time to jail with DeMar. And so I believe like mid-season, we are going to see this look differently. And I don't care what anyone says, say we're a play-in team or not. If I make it to the playoffs as a 10th seed, I don't care. I made it to the playoffs.
That's right. You can smoke right after that.
I made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So let him figure it out. I'm not going to be as hard on him, Billy, that is, because I can understand it. But I do believe that, AK does have to make some moves to get us more shooting. I do believe that has to happen. We don't have the same set of players on the bench to shoot like most of the best teams do. That's a fact.
You know who I'd love to get back? Doug McDermott.
Hey, Dougie E was getting buckets. I don't care. Dougie McBuckets, I would like to have McBuckets back. People don't like him, but hey, I think he'll be a good player. I honestly think, you know what? People slept on Malik Monk so much that he ended up on the Kings. Yeah, and now he just torched us and has a highlight dunk that they're showing over and over again. Like, be for real. No one was checking for Malik Monk.
Yeah.
I bet you we're going to be checking for him now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the ebbs and flows of the NBA season, but we got some games coming up. In fact, I appreciate you calling. In fact, before we get up out of here, Marcus, I want to actually go get your opinion on this.
Okay.
We got the Wizards, Mavericks, Hawks, Knicks twice, Wolves again, Heat. We got a lot of teams that are middling or struggling right now.
Those are going to be.
We can have a nice little run where we go 7-3 and for the next 10. I think we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 games before we play the Bucks again. I think we can win majority of them.
6.
You think we're gonna win 6?
Yeah, I think 6.
We got Wizards on Wednesday, Mavericks on Saturday, Hawks on Sunday. So that back to back. You think we're gonna lose or win those 3?
I think we'll beat the Wizards. I think we're going to lose to Dallas. I think we're going to beat the Hawks.
I actually got that flipped. I think we're going to beat the Mavericks because they're still trying to figure some things out. We're going to lose to the Hawks because DeJounte Murray and Weston, they've been clicking lately. We got the Knicks back to back Wednesday and Friday the following week. I think we sweep them.
Okay.
Timberwolves is going to be interesting. I think we might take an L on that one. But then we got the Hawks, the Heat, Hawks, and Knicks again. And then we end up with the Rockets. We have a good chance to bounce back. Now, let me ask you all, if we go on a 7-3 run in the next 10, that puts us above 500. How do you feel about your team now?
I think if we can get some semblance of back on track and at least get to 600 as far as our record, I think that'll help. We got a caller on the line. What do you think about that?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
What I think about that, I called in last week, and tonight's game just spoke my facts. A lot of callers came in and said we need to move the ball around, but we have no catch and shoot. The amount of catch and shoot threes that this team passes up is ridiculous. We are a slashing team, and if you've seen Sacramento, which I believe the New York Knicks and each other team that we're going to face is going to shrink the floor, which makes it tough on DeMar, which took a while to figure the defense out. The floor shrinks. Everybody said we need to put Vooch in the post more. How can we? When they're going to double down, he kicks out. Name one guy on this team that can catch and shoot. They sagged off on Alex Caruso, which I believe the Wizards are going to do. They sagged off on Derrick Jones Jr. They sagged off on P.Will. They're going to just keep sagging off and shrinking the floor. This roster construction, it just does not work. So I don't care what anybody says. They can stop blaming DeMar, stop blaming Zach. They're doing what they have to do when the court shrinks. The amount of energy it takes when you're trying to finish at the rim, it's a lot. So your shots are going to be flat. Right. So Of course, they're not going to have the energy to shoot like the numbers they put up last year. People need to understand the importance of Lonzo Ball last year. If anybody is a hooper, you cannot help on the same side as the ball. So DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, the reason why they had so much success last year is because Lonzo Ball was a 42% three-point shooter. Nobody on his team is putting up over 35% from the three. Nobody. It's not going to work. We just need some help on the three-point line. It doesn't matter what they do, no matter what Billy Donovan does, he has tried everything. They cannot keep blaming this man for the roster construction that he has. The reason why he doesn't put Drummond out is because people are going to shrink the floor more. They don't have no three-point shooters. That's why Vooch is constantly on the perimeter trying to shoot, because that's our second best three-point shooter, which is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, and that's true.
Who's out there that we can get? Anybody?
They're going to have to, this draft coming up, they're going to have to try to move something around. They get Derrick Jones Jr. is proving his trade value. They have some pieces that they can move. They just need a catch and shoot guy. They don't need a big name. They just need somebody, because the amount of threes that we had on the catch and shoot that we passed up for the dribble drive is ridiculous. So I don't know who they can get. They need to go get an Evan Fournier, somebody that's cheap. Go to Miami and get Staukis, somebody that's cheap that can catch and shoot, because we have a team full of slashers. Ayo, Caruso, Pat, Derrick Jones Jr. None of those guys have known for catch and shoot. It's tough for DeMar, Zach, and Vooch. Vooch can't get in the post, because why? They're going to send a double. He has to kick out. Who's going to hit the three? Nobody.
You know the funny thing is, not only do I agree with you, but I tell you one thing. You said no big name. I'm still on to bring Carmelo to the Bulls and let him shoot. Trade.
And at this point in his career, Carmelo's not a big name, but he fits the roster need.
He gonna shoot. That's all I want him to do. Catch and shoot, baby. Go ahead and do your thing. You know who else is out there? Trevor Ariza.
Ooh.
Trevor Ariza.
But has lost his stuff.
Don't need
my
a step.
biggest
Just
issue
need you to
is,
shoot.
like, everybody's been talking about these last games. This game, Sacramento, they took 42 threes to our 29. We was 9 for 29. Golden State, they took 50 threes. We took 27. It's just not, you're not going to beat teams trading twos for threes. You can talk about DeMar, Zach, Vooch all you want. They're doing their best with the role players makes a championship team. Our role players are not it. I'm sorry.
No apology necessary. You've been
hey man, you're cooking right now. I see you. Appreciate you calling in, my boy.
Yeah. You are the call of the show.
Y'all
we appreciate you, man.
I listen to you guys all the time, man.
All right. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you for your support.
Boy, on that note, P.Kidd, we can't do much better than that caller.
I can't do much better than that. That was a good one. I like that one.
I think we're gonna end it. Let me turn off the chat here. Okay, so last thing to everybody here, 62 people. Hey, go to YouTube at Bulls Podcast and throw me a sub, will you? If you liked anything that I did here. I'm trying to grow my own audience too. And kid, since I've started doing post games, I've had 3 new subs. 3. Come on, we can do better than that. Give me some sort of encouragement. So help me out on at Bulls Podcast. Give me a sub. See what's going on over there with myself and Wise Black. P.Kidd's been on the show too. So help me out if you can, if you enjoyed what you saw here in terms of content. P.Kidd, you can find at 1P.Kidd and also here throughout the Windy City Breeze and all the content that we create here. So make sure you pull up on us. We are the only place that talks Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So get in tune with us. Until next time, I'm Marcus Couch for P.Kidd. So long, everyone.